Hey, good morning to everybody. It's Daryl P, aka Artist in Recovery, and this video is probably primarily going to be for my TikTok channel. I've already done a video about this before I did my street rhymes. You can't do stuff like this. You can't do these videos every day and not be affected by it. And I never know when something's going to affect me hard. And today's one of those days. If you watch my street rhymes video, you can see it. I tried recording it at least, I'd say 12, 13, 14 times, and I finally just used the take that you guys are going to see, and I'm kind of halting and stumbling over it. This is the thing. What I talked about, Trump saying that ABC and NBC should lose their broadcasting license, it just hit me so hard. And it's not like other debates or arguments or topics between the left and the right, say like trans athletes or immigrants. You know, there's one side and the other side. You know, there's I guess there's real points that could be made for either side. But this is just not even based in reality. It's an authoritarian nightmare. I spent a good portion this morning not working on my street rhymes or working out, but doing some investigating. I guess I hate using that word. I wanted to see what Trump was complaining about, if he had any valid points about ABC and NBC wanting to revoke their license to broadcast, and he seemed serious about this. And I thought, well, maybe there's some kind of small discrepancy. Maybe they let Harris. Maybe they had her on there, something anchored in reality. Nothing. All I could see is he doesn't like the way that they reported the actual stories about him, the real things he says and does. I mean, you could say that CNN, CSNBC, I don't believe they lie. I believe they hit Trump hard, and I see with good reason. Now, here's the thing. Trump says this about ABC and NBC, about revoking their licenses, because they're bad for the country. Because he says that networks shouldn't take sides. And I think about Fox News, and it just blows my mind. I mean, is he so far gone? Psychotic. I mean, so far gone in this authoritarian nightmare of his that he actually believes what he's saying. He's on Fox News, Newsmax, all the time. Fox and Friends. Hannity kisses his ass constantly. They'll say and do anything he wants. And he comes on, and now he's saying that ABC and NBC shouldn't be pawns for either party. The hypocrisy is it's mind-blowing. And he's serious. And the people, the supporters, agree with him. And here's the thing. I thought back, we're getting used to this. We are living in an authoritarian dictatorship. I thought back to when bad things happened in my life, real bad things. When I was abused sexually by the cop that was dating my mother when I was 12 or 13. When I had back surgery, and I can't feel from the waist down, right up the middle, all the goodies, And if I thought about these things happening before they happened, I'd say, I could never deal with that. I'll kill myself. But when they happen, I think the human mind has a way of dealing with it, just coping mechanisms. And you become accustomed to it. You become acclimated to these terrible situations. It's a human coping mechanism. Otherwise, we would all end up hanging ourselves. Seriously. And it's only been 6 months. And he's seriously talking about revoking ABC and NBC's licenses because they're not kissing his ass and reporting like he wants them to. Never before in the history of television or this country or anything has a president or anybody in power said shit so far gone as this. We are living now in an authoritarian dictatorship, and we're becoming acclimated to it. We are. We're saying, you know, every time it slips a little further down, we're saying, well, you know, we could deal with this. It's not so bad. You know, we'll get them on this or that. And you slip further and further, and you become more acclimated to it until it just becomes a regular way of life. And you lose your instinct, you lose your drive to fight, to resist these terrible situations. I talked to a homeless person, and it was the same thing. I was like, how can you sleep on the side? Honestly, you know, no disrespect, but how can you sleep on the sidewalk every night, you know, with all your belongings in a bag? You know, if it were me, I'd do this. I'd try to get help. I'd reach out. I'd get a job sweeping the sidewalk. You know, and he says, you know, that goes through all your, you know, you try that the first day, and then you slowly become acclimated until it's your life. It's what you know. And that's where we are. That's what scares me. And all this occurred to me this morning. You know, we're not under the threat of Trump turning into a dictator and living in an authoritarian state. We are right now living under a dictator in an authoritarian state right now, 6 months in, and he's got 3.5 years to go. Oh, by his count, his lifetime to go. Another claim that we dismiss. His supporters say, he's just, you know, yanking liberals' chains. Yeah, it wouldn't be a bad thing. And we become acclimated to it. So when 2028 comes, none of us will be surprised when he decides to stick around for the rest of his life. We're living in an authoritarian hell right now. We need to resist, stand up, and fight back. And I'm not saying that lightly. I'm not just saying that to say that. I mean it. What's the point of any of this if we don't? Have a good Monday.